and I will say that this is part of word problems, right? Some word problems will include compass directions to refer to an angle. And as an example, you might say a vessel is traveling north 25 degrees east, something like that. And so what does that mean? Visually, right? If you have, I'm going to go north 25 degrees west, let's say. This reads north 25 degrees west. That's exactly what it reads the way you see it. What does it mean? That it means that you start measuring from north, right? Then turn 25 degrees towards the west. That's what that is saying. Okay, it reads, if you were to read it to someone or tell someone it's north 25 west, and it means that you start measuring from north, because that's the first letter that appears, and then you turn either westward or eastward, right? Like it's going to be either left or right. So that's where you know how to do it, right? So we always have a reference, right? You have your vertical line, which stands, right? You have north on one end and you have south on the other end. So just make a vertical line. And then we're going to have a horizontal line crossing it like this. Okay, so you have east to the right and you have west to the left. So if you wanted to graph this particular angle, you start north. Okay, that's one leg. And then you move 25 direction to the west, right? So from there you turn away like that, and that's 25 degrees. And then you actually draw your path from the origin like that. So this is the actual direction you would be going, right? You're not going north. You're not going north. You just start measuring, like if this is where you're at, you kind of go with the north towards north, measure 25 degrees towards west, and that is the actual direction of your path, right? So that's how you do that. Another example, so we're going to do a couple of these. South 15 degrees east, right? It stands for south 15 degrees east. Start south and then turn 15 degrees eastward. Eastward. So again, just don't try not to take up too much room, but you have your vertical, that's your north and south. You have your horizontal, that's the east and the west. Okay, so south, right? You're measuring always from the origin. That's where you're at, right? This is your reference, and then you go 15 degrees east, so that's 15 that way, and that is your path right there. So the 15-degree angle would come in there, and you can see that there's going to be an angle there and possibly a triangle later on. This is your direction. And it comes in various formats. Like you could also have west 30 degrees south, and that reads west 30 degrees south, as you can tell, as you probably already predicted. And here you start west, and then you turn 30 degrees south, southward. Okay, so same thing here. So your dashed vertical line, your dashed horizontal line, east, west, north, south, and this is where you're at, and you want to travel in this direction. You start with the west, and then you turn 30 degrees towards south. And this is your actual direction that you're traveling. And the angle is here. And then I will say this. Note, west 30 degrees south can also be stated as, notice this, if you were to start south, you know that between the west and the south, there's a 90-degree angle there, right? So if this is 30, we know that this is 60 here. We know that this is 60. Okay? From the south, you would have to turn 60 degrees that way. So we're talking about the same direction, but we would say south 60 degrees west. Like you would start south and then turn 60 degrees towards west. Same direction. Or one direction. Some of you are like, you're probably like that band. So there's only, right? These are both going to the same direction, right? West 30 south or south 60 west. I hope that makes sense. You got to be able to look at it both ways, right? All right, let's do some. We'll do the cases here. On 48 cases. Example 1, travel north 30 degrees east, then turn and head north 50 degrees west. What would you do if a problem says that? Hey, a plane travels right north 30 degrees east. These are used in navigation, right? When you're going through the forest or when you're flying an airplane or you're going on a ship, right? This is kind of what they would do to point you in a specific direction, right? And one thing you need to remember is that you might have to erase these questions, okay? So when you're traveling, you almost want to have a compass rose, right? Just ready to go. And then you know, okay, you're traveling north 30 east, so you're going to go this way. And then you're going to go north from here, you're going to go northwest. So I'm going to start somewhere here to have enough room. So watch what I'm going to do here. Wherever you are, you have north and south, east and west. It doesn't matter where you're located. So let's say this is the start. Starting point. Let's say that's your starting point right there. And you're going to go north 30 east. So north, south, east, west. So you're going to go north, start here, and then you're going to turn 30 degrees. And you're traveling. We don't know for how long, but you're traveling. And then at some point, once you get from here to there, you're going to turn. Well, guess what? Wherever you end up, there's another, you still have north, south, east, west following you, right? It's constant. So this is where you turn. And we're turning and heading north 50 west. So again, this is just your reference. I don't want you to really draw into it too much, but you're going to turn 50 degrees in the west and west direction, right? Towards the west. So it's 50 degrees there. And then you travel that way. Okay. So this is kind of what you would end up with. Okay. And how is this going to be helpful to us? Well, we just did angles, right? Parallel sides and whatnot. We know that this side, the north and south here, and the north and south here, these are parallel, right? So we know that if these two lines are parallel, then the 30-degree angle will be able to transfer over to here. And that is because they're alternate interior angles, right? So from here, you go to there, you transfer that 30 you started off with over to this diagram here because of alternate, right? These two lines are parallel. The north and south lines are parallel no matter where you go. You could have been over here, right? The north and south lines follow you and they're always parallel. So you can use the alternate interior to follow, okay? And then how would you find this angle right here, which is really the inside of the triangle? Well, you have a straight line. We could go 180 minus the 50 that you had here and minus the 30 that you transferred over from here. So now you can actually find this one using the straight angle property. Right? So that's 100 degrees and that's the straight angle property. That's one case. And today, I guess I'm just going to focus on the cases. And one more, okay, before we go. Example 2. Travel south 40 degrees east, then turn and travel north 60 degrees east. What would that look like? You travel south 40 degrees east, and then you turn and you go north 60 degrees east. So it doesn't matter where you go, but you're going to go southeast. So southeast is you're going in this direction. And then you're going to go northeast. So I'm going to start up here. And this is where practice will be critical, right? So you make your little compass rows, right? North, south, east, west. Don't mix that up. If you need to have that on your study sheet, do it. So you need to know from here, I'm going to head out a certain direction. So it's south 40 degrees east. So you start measuring from the south side and you turn 40 degrees towards east, and that's where you're headed. Straight line. Okay, it should be a straight line. I'm going to keep going a little bit here, give myself some room. And then I turn. So you start here, and here I turn. And I'm going to have my compass rose follow me to help me out. North, south, east, west. Okay, I almost made a west here. I don't know if you can tell, right? Then there's a north, and I turn 60 degrees east, and I go this way. It doesn't say where I stop, so we're just going to pretend like now you're traveling in this direction. Be careful. This 60 degree goes in here. It's between that and that. The 60 goes in there. I will make sure you understand that the 60 is here. Not the whole thing. It's not from here to there. It's only from the north to your eastward direction. That's where the 60 goes. And watch this. This line right here and this line right here, they're parallel. Okay? This line and this line, they're parallel. It's parallel to this one. So we can bring this over. You have a Z here formed. You can bring this over into there, and you have your 40-degree angle now in there. Okay? And this is because of alternate interior angles. That's why you're doing that. They're congruent, right? If the lines are parallel, connecting them. So combined, this whole angle right here would be 100 degrees. Okay, so now you found that angle in there. So when you do word problems, this is the strategy you're going to have to use to come up with an angle inside a triangle. Okay. I think this is pretty much it. There are many cases, many ways to travel, but this is done quite often. So you've got your case where you might get a straight line and you have to use the supplementary angle property to get that middle wedge. And sometimes it'll be just as easy as transferring over and boom, you get your angle inside that triangle that you'll be creating. Okay. Let me give you some work to do. And I will say page 5, okay? Homework, page 5 in booklet. Those are word problems. in booklet. Those are word problems that use the compass, right? These are word problems. Compass, there is compass directions as well. And I will go over that tomorrow. And just remember, it's a short week, so we gotta get through this unit. And so I didn't spend a whole lot of time on non-word problem questions, right? We're basically diving into word problems right away. So if you're still needing help with sine law, cosine law, go and watch those videos that I posted last week. All right.